Welcome to Group 1 of IPMI International Business School. We are a diverse and dynamic team composed of
Aro,
Poppy, Jolene,
Isa,
Andy, and Santoso.
Our collective goal is to delve into the intricacies of globalization as presented in Thomas Friedman's seminal work, The World is Flat. We believe in the power of shared knowledge and collaborative learning as we navigate through Friedman's perspective on global interconnectedness.
we look forward to engaging discussions and insightful discoveries. Together, we aim to broaden our understanding of the world and its complexities. Join us as we embark on this exciting intellectual journey. Join!
Thomas Friedman begins with an anecdote from a trip he had taken to India. Friedman explains how technology has enhanced humanity's ability to communicate. And Friedman asserts that this technology-assisted bringing together of people into a global community means that the world is flat. According to Friedman, globalization has created a level playing field on which workers, corporations, and governments of the world are forced to compete. Friedman explains that this metaphor of a flat world means that countries like India are now able to compete for global knowledge and that America had better get ready for this. Thomas Friedman lists 10 factors that led to the world being flattened. Number 1. The Berlin Wall fell on November 9, 1989. This event represents the end of the Cold War, which was the rivalry between the Soviet Union and the United States. Number 2. Netscape is one of the first large internet providers. Netscape led to the internet's more widespread usage. Number 3. Workflow software, computer software that allows computers to communicate with each other without human involvement. Number 4. When people work together on online projects such as wikis and open source software, it is the most disruptive force for all. Number 5. Outsourcing has allowed companies to take advantage of the world's market of goods and services. Number 6, we have offshoring. Corporations give offshore funds in foreign countries to financially benefit. Number 7, supply chaining allows companies to use technology to streamline their performance and extend their reach. Number 8, we have insourcing, through which a company's workers do services under another company's direction. And number 9, we have informing, which refers to the vast amount of information available through the internet. And number 10, we have the steroids. Steroids are drugs that enhance human performance through the usage of synthetic or real human hormones. And in Chapter 3, we have the triple convergence. Thomas Friedman explores 3 critical factors that created the environment needed for the flatteners explored in Chapter 2 to thrive. The first factor is how the 10 flatteners came together right around the year of 2000. The second factor is how businesses began to adapt to the new playing field, developing new habits, skill, and processes to get the most out of it. The final factor is how after the end of the Cold War and the resulting spread of capitalism, a whole new group of people, several billion in fact, walked out into the playing field from China, India, and the former Soviet Empire. Friedman argues that these 3 factors created a triple convergence that caused the rapid-fire pace of globalization.
Alright, we continue with Chapter 4. In this chapter, Friedman argues that the flattening of the world has led to great sorting out of jobs, as companies seek to hire workers with the right skill and knowledge from anywhere in the world. He noticed that this has created new opportunities for workers in developing countries, but has also resulted in job losses for workers in developed countries. Friedman argues that workers in developed countries need to acquire new skills and adapt to the changing global economy if they want to remain competitive. Okay, next is Chapter 5 about America and free trade. Here, Friedman identifies the qualities that he believes are necessary for success in the flat world, including 1. The ability to learn continuously, 2nd. The ability to adapt to change, 3rd is ability to work collaboratively, and the 4th, the ability to think creatively. Friedman argues that workers who possess these qualities will be able to thrive in the new global economy. And the last chapter I will review is chapter 6, which is talking about untouchable finding the new middle. Friedman discusses the rise of outsourcing and offshoring and the impact it has had on American workers. He argues that many American jobs have been outsourced to countries like India and China, where workers are able to do the same work for lower wages. He noticed that this has created backlash in the United States, where workers feel threatened by the loss of their job. Friedman argues that outsourcing and offshoring are not going away and that American workers need to find new ways to remain competitive in the global economy.
Let's dive into chapter 7, titled The Right Stuff. This chapter is fascinating exploration of the skills and knowledge we need to succeed in this ever-flattening world. It's not just about what you know, but how quickly you can learn new things. Friedman introduced us to the concept of untouchable. These are the folks whose jobs can not be outsourced or automated. They've got the right stuff. As Friedman puts it, the most important ability you can develop in a flat world is the ability to learn how to learn. Moving on, chapter 8, the quiet crisis. On here, Friedman calls our attention to a crisis that's silently unfolding in America. There's a shortage of young people pursuing a career in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, also known as a STEM field. This isn't just a problem for this industry. It's a problem for America's place in a competitive, globalized world. As Friedman warns, we are not producing enough engineers and scientists. Finally, on the chapter 9, this is not a test. This chapter serves a wake-up call. The decline in STEM isn't some distant problem of the future. It's happening here and now. Friedman argues that this is a crisis that needs immediate attention. Much like a national response triggered by the launch of Sputnik, he states, "This is not a test. We are facing a crisis in our schools, and there is nothing abstract about it."
Okay, I will continue with the chapter 10 about the vision of Guadalupe. In this chapter of the book explores the impact of globalization and flattening of the world on individuals and societies. It delves into the changing nature of identity, education, and society brought about globalization and the flattening of the world, emphasizing the needs for individuals and governments to adapt to this new reality. This chapter has some key points. Point number 1 is about the impact of globalization and personal and cultural identities. And next is about the needs for individual to develop new skills and adapt to the globalized world. And the critical role of education in preparing people for success. The importance of government policies that promote innovation in education. The significance of social networks and collaboration in the flat world. And the last one is about the influence of the global supply chain on commerce. So this is about the chapter 10. Now we're moving to chapter 11, the unflat world. And this chapter examines the limitations and challenges associated with globalization and the flat world. It discusses the negative consequences of global interconnectedness, such as terrorism, cyber threats, environment challenges, and the social inequalities. The complexities and the challenges that rise alongside the opportunities presented by globalization and the flattened world. It calls for a comprehensive and cooperative approach address these issues and ensure that benefits of globalization are shared more equitably. The key points of this chapter is about dark side of globalization, which includes issues like terrorism and cyber threats, the digital divide, and the importance of addressing it to ensure digital access for all. The next point is about environmental challenges, including climate change, exacerbated by globalization, and social inequalities that have been magnified by economic disparities. The role of government in regulating and mitigating these challenges. The last one about the need for responsible citizenship and corporate social responsibility. We are moving to chapter 12, the Dell theory of conflict prevention. In this chapter, Friedman presents a theory that suggests that the economic interdependencies created by globalization can help prevent conflicts between nations. The Dell theory highlights how shared economic interests can promote peace and stability into the world, though it's also acknowledged its limitation in addressing all forms of conflicts. And the key points on the chapter suggest the concept of the Dell theory and promise the economic interdependencies discourage nations from going to war. Examples of economic interdependencies reducing the likelihood of conflict between countries, the role of multinational corporations in acting as economic bridge and peacekeeper, acknowledgement of the theory's limitation, including political and ideological factors, the encouragement for government to promote peace through diplomacy and policies that support economic interdependencies, and the last one is the potential implication of the Dell theory for the future of international relations, suggesting that major conflicts between global powers may become less likely.
Chapter 13 is not happening is because you are not doing it. Key points: innovation could come from everywhere. Reputation of the company determined by how the company responds to customers. Consumer has ability to spread positive or negative opinions about the product or services. One high-impact entrepreneur creates hundreds of jobs and could inspire thousands of future entrepreneurs. Qualities help the person grow his business, and he will have fat not only for his family but also half of the village. Chapter 14. What happens when we all have those feelings? Key points. Technology allows us to connect to each other in everywhere and in any time much faster and also divides us more easily. Internet allows people to create and upload content in easy way. People have to be smart about what they deliver to the internet because your reputation will follow. The important rules in this world, you better do it right. Do not become internet addiction and keep it all in good perspective. The internet will become a permanent record. Chapter 15. The Unflat World. Key points. Leaders must be able to understand about collaboration and competition to solve the big problem with horizontal collaboration. The flattening of the world is making low impact people become high impact people faster with great impacts. Consequences of the flat world is the societies and culture connect much faster, and it can make an impact in positive or negative ways. Higher costs for fossil fuel make most costly, and the business community is already moving to operating clean and green energy.
Chapter 16. The Dell theory of conflict prevention. This theory wants to highlight that countries embedded in a major global supply chain won't fight against each other as long as they are part of the same one. Let's take the example of nuclear threats between India and Pakistan. There were lots of factory and technology R&D of international company in Bangalore, India. If India engages a war against Pakistan, American companies won't do business with India anymore. And India knows that a stable and predictable environment is key for development. So starting a war would not benefit either country. However, we need to focus on terrorism. This new source of geopolitical instability can lead to war. Indeed, Al-Qaeda is a self-financing mutant supply chain using all the tools of collaboration offered by the Flat World, especially internet, to collect data, raise funds, and recruit. This is the new challenge of conflict prevention. As a conclusion, we can say that imagination is the key for success. The imagination comes from two things. First, narratives, and second, the context in which you grew up. We cannot get inside the context, but we can help change the context. When the context is different, the narrative is different, and then the reaction is different. For example, India is one of the largest Muslim countries in the world. In India, there is no Muslim in Al-Qaeda. Why? Because of the context. Indeed, traditions of non-violence and tolerance are really strong in India. There is no discrimination against Muslims, and every community has the opportunity for economic advancement. There is a strong culture of reconciliation, so Indian people don't need angry protest that can lead to revolution. That's why the context is so important. The world is really more dangerous than from years ago, and we need to fix it. We need to be the best citizen that we can be. We need to improve our positive imagination. We need to work harder and smarter to make sure that more of us can connect and compete, collaborate and innovate on the Flat World platform. We need to fight against terrorism, and we need more dreams than memories.
To wrap up this session, we, Group 1 of IPMI, would like to express our heartfelt thanks to all of you who have joined us on this journey through The World is Black by Thomas Friedman. Your engagement and insight have truly enriched our discussion and understanding of the subject matter.
We hope that our YouTube sessions have been both informative and enjoyable for you. If you missed any of our discussions or want to revisit them, remember that they are always available on our YouTube channel for your convenience.
On behalf of Farouk, Poppy, Jolene, Isa, Andi, and Santoso, thank you for being part of this intellectual adventure. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to our channel for more exciting contents. Until next time, keep learning and stay curious. Thank you.